My name is Rob Wallace, I am your life coach and spiritual mentor, and this is Self-Love with Law of Attraction. Hello wonderful people, welcome to Module 16 of your Self-Love and Law of Attraction course. And today's topic is, who are you attracting? Now let's dive right into this topic. What I'm talking about in terms of who are you attracting, it could be who are you attracting as a lover, or who are you attracting as a friend, or even who are you attracting as work colleagues, okay? Now, in order to grasp what I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to give you guys a teaching by the wonderful Neville Goddard. And that teaching is this: other people who come into your life are you pushed out. This is a really deep and profound teaching within the community of Law of Attraction. It's one of the more deeper meanings that quite a lot of people who get into Law of Attraction, they don't really find themselves asking these really deep questions very much. But as Neville Goddard says, everybody who you encounter in your life is you pushed out. So let's discuss what that means. If we understand how Law of Attraction works, that is, your physical reality is a mental projection of your thoughts and feelings, then we can understand that everything, including people who come into your life, is a product of your imagination. It's a product of how you think and how you feel. Let me explain that even more. Whoever you attract into your life, whether they be a lovely person or whether they be a person of contrast, maybe a challenging person, we all attract to ourselves people who are an exact match to the vibration that we are feeling within ourselves. Now, I've explained this here and there in various earlier modules, okay? But in this module, we're going to go over this concept in depth, okay? The people that you attract in your life are an exact vibrational match to yourself. Now, you should be taking this as good news because you know that your vibration is a choice. And whatever vibration you choose to vibrate at, you know fine well that you're going to attract a person who is an exact match to the vibration in which you're vibrating at. That's what Neville means by people are you pushed out. For example, you're not going to attract 7.7 billion people who are on this planet to yourself all at once. You're only going to attract those who match the frequency in what you're vibrating at. Now, in one or two earlier modules, I did give an example of how someone always attracts a lover who is on a vibrational match with their own inner state. And I'm going to go over that example again, okay? Because this is just to drive home the point that you attract how you feel inside. So let's take someone who's on the dating scene, okay? They're dating people, they're going on various coffee dates, they're getting to know people, but they're coming home to you, okay? It's maybe one of your friends, and they're coming home to you, and they're saying to you, oh my goodness, why do I keep attracting crazy people, okay? That's what they're saying to you. Now, we all know a friend who always comes and says that to you, that they don't know why they keep attracting crazy people, all right? Now, when they go on date after date after date, and they keep on coming home to you time after time after time, and they keep repeating to you the same thing, they keep repeating to you Why do they keep attracting crazy people? The more they repeat that to you, the more that becomes a belief in their own mind, you see? And then they're going to wonder why they keep attracting crazy people. It's very simple. It's because they believe that's the only person they're capable of attracting, you see? And I've spoke about this at length throughout this entire course, that what you keep telling yourself is what you will attract. So if you yourself, who's listening to this audio, if you are someone who keeps on asking other people why you might be attracting crazy people, folks, you need to turn that thought right around on its head. Because the more you keep asking that question, guess what? The more it's going to be confirmed in physical reality. And just from a personal point of view, I've actually experienced dating two people who looked so similar to my ideal type of person then. Okay, not now, but back then. I attracted two people who looked almost identical, right? And not only that, the issues that surrounded the situation with both of them, they were almost similar, okay? Similar in nature. And the breakup was also similar in nature. It was almost as if I was dating the same person twice. And it was only a few years later when I started doing the inner work on me that I realized, wow, I actually attracted those two people throughout a whole combination of desires. One of the desires was the desperation to have a girlfriend, right? So I attracted someone who was desperate to have a boyfriend. And back then I was into poetry and I was into hanging around the art scene and I was into hanging around with, well, I don't mean this as an insult, but with damaged people. Okay? They're not damaged. My perception of them was that they were damaged. Okay? Therefore, I attracted damaged people. You see how that works? That's what I desired. I got what I wanted. You see? Because I wanted someone to fix, well, then I got someone to fix. So be careful what you wish for in a person. That's what I attracted. And I'll give you another example in terms of work colleagues. I remember a good few years ago now, I got this lovely job and there was lovely staff there. I didn't manifest it directly, but I did say that I wanted a job that was full of people that I liked, okay? And out of the blue, I ended up getting this job that I thought I'd no chance of getting because they interviewed so many people. And I ended up getting this job. And it turns out that while I wished for a job that was full of nice people, it turns out that one of my colleagues was also into manifesting. And the position which I applied for, she manifested someone who was into law of attraction. So you see how that happens? You attract the people who match your inner vibration. There are no accidents in life. And just to go back to what I'm talking about in terms of people are you pushed out, well, this is exactly what Neville Goddard was talking about. Now, I want to go into this even deeper. Just because someone negative might turn up in your life, and just because someone positive might turn up in your life, each one of those people has something valuable to tell you about yourself. It may not seem it in the moment. Maybe you've come across a negative person and the entire situation was so full of tension and contrast that it was almost impossible to see any sort of possible good that would come out of that situation. But we always go through this process years later when our minds are settled. We always think back on these moments of tension and we always find that one thing which was so valuable in that situation. We always find that valuable thing was that one thing which was kicking us forward, which was pushing us forward, okay? Which was putting us in that tense position as a means of forcing us to move forward. You see? What I'm trying to say is that if you meet someone that's full of contrast and that's full of negativity, don't put meaning to the negativity, but focus on what that person's saying, because they may be saying something to you that's important to you about yourself. And I'll give you an example. I once used to get really irked by an old work colleague, okay? Someone who I used to work with a long time ago. I used to get really irked by them, and I don't know why. They had a very specific type of sense of humour which was always trying to cross the line with you. And every time you pulled back that line to give them more leeway, they would come and try and bounce over that line which you not only drew, but which you pulled back to give them more leeway in order to adapt to their humour. Now, just to let you know, folks, I've got a really wide open sense of humour, okay? It's borderline, okay? I love humour, right? Doesn't matter how I sound on these audios. I might sound more professional than I would down the pub, right? But I love humour. I love to laugh. I really do. And I love a good joke. And I love an edgy joke. But for all of us, every single one of us has that line. And that person, I don't even know why. I can't even explain it, but they always cross that line. And I think it was more not so much to do with how edgy the humour was. It was more just a personality clash. But do you know what I had to do? Now, this was during my time where I was into Neville Goddard, I was into law of attraction, I was into fixing myself, right? But I'll tell you the nutshell lesson which I learned from that person who for some reason just pushed my central button, right? I learned that I had actually lost some of my sense of humour. And that person was there to remind me, don't take things too seriously. You're not here to take life seriously in terms of taking life so serious that you exclude all the fun out of life. You're here to have serious fun in life and to have fun seriously. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't take life seriously minus the fun. Have serious fun and take fun seriously. Life is creation. You're here to play, right? You are here to play. You're not here to take life so seriously like that, like the way I did back then. And it took that person to come to me, someone I didn't know, to push my buttons, and for me to say, oh, wait a minute, I've actually lost a bit of my sense of humour. You see? And I'll give you another example of how people are you pushed out, right? And how the people you attract into your life is a vibrational match to your own inner state. Now, folks, the person who turned my life around from the law of attraction teachings was someone called Neville Goddard, who you've heard me talking about so often, right? Anyway, it was Neville that turned my life around. When I first got into Neville Goddard and I went on to a dating website, the very first person I communicated with is now my dear friend today, and she's a life coach. And she's amazing. She was a life coach before I knew her. Now, I didn't know she was a life coach from her profile. I didn't know she liked Neville Goddard from her profile. As we started talking to each other about our interests, that's how we found out that we liked Neville Goddard and law of attraction. You see, not only was she the first person I met, I had no idea from her profile that she was even into law of attraction. That's how you attract people who are on your level. And that's when I first discovered that people are really you pushed out. Now, a lot of people get uncomfortable when they're told that. Because when someone negative comes in their life, they start to think, oh, have I done something really bad? Have I deserved this? Have I deserved this really negative person coming into my life? Folks, let me give you a little reality check, okay? You're never going to avoid bringing someone negative into your life, okay? But what you can do is you can learn from everyone who comes into your life. You can look into that person and say, what is it within that person that reflects back to me who I am right now? Because you can always change yourself, but that's what you want to ask yourself. You don't want to do it in a punishing way. Listen to me carefully, folks. Never do this in a punishing way. Don't punish yourself. I've got a whole module on that. Don't punish yourself. Just with ease, with a neutral mind, look at someone in your life, if they're positive or negative, right? And ask yourself in a neutral way, what is it within that person that's reflecting back to me something about myself? And folks, it's so easy. See, if you like it, don't fix it, right? If you don't like what you see, then treat that reflection, okay? Treat that reflection the same way you would treat yourself if you seen something on your face when you looked in the mirror. You would wipe it off. But you wouldn't wipe it off with anger. You wouldn't be wiping it off with any sort of reactionary emotion. You would just be going, oh, I better fix that. Because it's that easy to fix. Do you see what I'm saying, folks? If you have someone in your life who's reflecting back to you something you don't really like the look of, it's probably got something to do with something inside yourself which you need to fix. And you know what, folks? Most of the time, what you need to fix is faith in yourself. Honestly, folks, it really comes down to that. For example, if you've got someone who's reflecting back to you insecurity, what's that really telling you? Have faith in yourself. If you meet someone who's nasty to you and keeps shouting at you and keeps judging you, that's probably because a part of you is all judgy and all angry. But guess what? Guess where that comes from? A lack of faith in you. You see? All of these angry, tense people who are negative, who might come into your life, they're not there to punish you. It's not about punishment. They're actually there to kick you up the backside and move you forward to love yourself. You see? Now, you may not see it. In the thick of it, you may not see that. And I understand. 9 times out of 10, whoever comes into your life, that is, the people that are you pushed out, especially the negative people, you're not going to see it when you're in the thick of it, but trust me, those people are there to kick you up the backside to move you forward into believing in yourself. So there's no blame, absolutely no blame whatsoever. Whatever tense moment, whether it's a person or a situation, folks, tense moments are there to kick you up the backside and move you forward into being the best person you can, and that is a lover of yourself. So, folks, just to conclude, people are you pushed out. They are there to tell you something about you. And it's always something which is there to push you forward into having 100% faith in yourself. And so, folks, today's exercise is this. I want you to go to the mirror, right? I want you to go to a mirror and look at yourself. Is there something you don't like about yourself? Anything? Right? I want you to really meditate on how you're reacting towards that so-called imperfection of yourself, okay? And then what I want you to do, okay, I just want you to really focus on how you're reacting and then try and turn that around and say something positive about that imperfection, okay? Why is that imperfection there? Is it teaching you something about yourself which can help you move forward? I'll give you an example. If you look in the mirror and you see some sort of wrinkle on your face, now for many people who love to look beautiful, that's going to scare a few people, right? Wrinkles. Well, what's that wrinkle a product of? Maybe that wrinkle's a product of you overworking, right? That wrinkle is telling you something about yourself. Everything that happens on your body is telling you how you're treating your body. And the way that you change that is through your thoughts, right? Okay? If you've got wrinkles as a result of being tired, well, that's your body telling you that you are tired. Therefore, get some more rest. All right? If you're someone who doesn't smile very much, then that's your body saying you need to look for things that make you smile more about yourself. You need to find more things about yourself which will make you smile about yourself, which will make you smile in regards to those things about yourself, you see? Then what I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper. Now, I want you to think of one person in your life who may be negative. And I want you to write down their characteristics and what makes them negative, right? Now, this is a person who's in your life, who's, could be a relative or a lover. But why is that person negative? What characteristics in them are making them negative? And then what I want you to do is look at that person as if they're a mirror reflection of you. This isn't going to be comfortable, right? I'm not going to stand here and say this is going to be comfortable. But don't do this in a judgmental sort of way. Just do it as a matter of fact. Look at that person and say, what is it they're reflecting back to me, which I might need to fix within myself, right? Because like I said, folks, 9 times out of 10, what you're going to find, folks, in regards to that one thing that you're going to need to fix within yourself, it's going to be self-confidence. It's going to be you getting rid of insecurities, right? Because 9 times out of 10, a negative person is insecure. And so what they're reflecting back to you, in a nutshell, is insecurity. Therefore, what's that teaching you? It's teaching you to get rid of insecurity and to believe in yourself. You see, it's never teaching you anything in terms of punishment. Never, ever. You are never being taught something in regardsment of a punishment. Anything that's reflecting back on you to teach you anything about yourself, it's never, ever anything in the ways of a punishment. It's only there in a negative way to really drive you forward into being a better version of yourself. And the best version of yourself, folks, is when you are in love with yourself. That's the highest and best version of you. When you start taking care of you, when you start fixing you, right? And fixing you means getting rid of insecurities. It means you loving you, all right? And so that's what I want you to do. And so, folks, this concludes Module 16 of your Self-Love and Law of Attraction course. Folks, we are really sailing through this course now, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all successfully complete the course and all become the best versions of yourself and finding that love within yourself, which is your own true identity. Folks, have a wonderful day. God bless you, and I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.